All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Me here, talking about real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you, just like me. Thanks for being here. Before I get going on this Motley Crue, Ozzy Osbourne controversy, which is just ridiculous, but I'm gonna cover it anyway because there's a lot of debauchery here, and there's so much to unpack. I mean, anyway, before I go there, here is Grand Revival. This came out a couple of years ago. The album is called Liberty Station. We could use some liberty these days, and these guys are providing it. If you like the music of like the Outlaws, vintage Molly Hatchet in that sort of Southern rock vein, then I think you'll dig Grand Revival. You can play it loud, and people will be annoyed by that, and that's why you should do it. Also, don't forget to listen to Modern Retro FM, Modern Retro Radio. They are fantastic. They are a radio station playing new material by vintage artists, people that you know and love. Their names you will recognize for the most part. You can check out their top 5 as well. Just a great radio station, and I fully endorse Modern Retro FM, .com. Now, on to this story about Ozzy, and Sharon Osbourne apparently is really mad at Nikki Sixx over the Dirt movie. Now, if you didn't have the chance to go see the Dirt, please don't go watch it. Just almost unwatchable in a few places. And there are 2 things that happen in the movie, and these things are lightweight compared to some of the things they say and some of the footage and the women and so forth. It's just, I mean, but that was what was happening. And what they did was they took all of the worst elements of that era and they put it into one movie. It's kind of like when the drummer there is walking around with stuff hanging out and telling everybody they need to do it. And these people they just don't know how to grow up. I mean, just play the music and try to act civil. Of course, the other day, what was it? Vince Neil was drunk hanging out with Sammy Hagar at Cabo. And I guess, what do you expect, right? I think he fell off the Nutrisystem wagon as well. Anyway, before I lose my train of thought, which is pretty easy, Sharon Osbourne is mad because the movie seemed to use her husband's crazy antics to promote the film. Because apparently the film wasn't good enough on its own, just covering what Motley Crue was all about. During a recent episode of the Osbournes podcast, Sharon, flanked by Ozzy, son Jack, and daughter Kelly, discussed the Prince of Darkness's infamous ant snorting incident. Man, and then there was another incident too, which they don't touch upon here. But apparently, in one episode where Ozzy was supposedly doing all kinds of crazy things with Motley Crue, there was a yellow liquid. I hope you're not eating lunch. Yellow liquid on the ground, and apparently Ozzy was lapping it up with his tongue. So there was no discussion on that particular topic, but they were saying that the snorting of the ants may not have been a thing. It was 1984, and Ozzy and Motley Crue reportedly engaged in all kinds of drug and alcohol-fueled shenanigans. I like how they use the word shenanigan, like chewing gum in class. You know, it's just an alcohol-fueled shenanigan during their tour together. Imagine being on that tour. I mean, probably a dangerous tour. At one point, legend has it, Ozzy took a straw, got down on the ground, and sniffed up a line of ants. So Sharon says, I was not there, thank God. Now, Sharon doesn't necessarily deny this happened, though. Sharon noted when asked by Jack if the notorious story was true, I used to try and stay away from Motley when they were with Ozzy. The Osbourne matriarch then expressed outrage that the incident ended up in the dirt and more specifically was used in the film's promotional campaign. She goes on to say, "All I know is that I think it made their movie," Sharon noted. And I want to know why. Now, we're on the subject of why, when they advertise their movie on Netflix, it's a picture of a guy imitating Ozzy. Why isn't the ad campaign a picture of Motley Crue? I know the answer to that, Jack responded, because Ozzy Osbourne's bigger than Motley Crue. Yes, he is. That comment stirred Ozzy enough to intervene, urging his family to move on from the topic. Sharon didn't budge, calling Motley Crue bassist Nikki Sixx a bleep hole, and further insisting, yes, he bleeping is, after Ozzy disagreed. Oh, man. So, there's a ton of debauchery here, and I don't know where to really start in just doing my little commentary here. First of all, don't go watch this movie. And you'll probably now go and watch it because I'm telling you not to. It was not a good experience. I did it for research purposes, right? I wanted to see what everybody was talking about. And there were places in the movie that I was just embarrassed as a human being, that these are other human beings behaving in this way. Look, back in the day when I went to these concerts, I even went backstage a few times. And yes, there were some things happening. And typically what I did was I turned my eyes away, did my little meet and greet thing with whoever, and then I left. But there was one instance where stuff started happening right in front of me. And my sidekick, who is, I forget what band this was, and I'd have to sit down and think about who it was. This was kind of like a C-list heavy metal band, I would say. Maybe B-list, but probably more C-list. And there's stuff happening right in front of you. And you're just, and I'm talking about women and men doing unspeakable things, right? So it's just, I'm like, it's awkward. It's bizarre. It's weird how when human beings lose their inhibitions completely, that even if people are standing right there, stuff happens. And it's just weird. Even as a younger person, I'm like, okay, we got to get out of here. And we did. We left. And we were just like freaked out. Like, wow, that just really happened. So, you know, when it comes to Motley Crue, this probably just is scratching the surface. They took the most salacious things from their own ridiculous career and they merged it with a couple of legendary Ozzy Osbourne things that happened. And, you know, they're using Ozzy basically to promote their movie, which, again, doesn't really talk that much about the music they made. And this has been my point for a long time about how a lot of these bands now promote themselves. They emphasize stuff that has nothing to do with the music. If you were a fan of the music, well, that's just like window dressing. That's not that important. Did you see Ozzy snorting the line of ants? Did you see the motorcycle crash? Did you see the drunkenness and the women that are being, you know, tossed out of hotel rooms or whatever without wearing any clothes, of course? I mean, some of the stuff in that documentary is just, it's a movie. I don't know. It's a docu-movie, whatever it is. Just really disgusting. I'm just going to say it. Just disgusting. And again, this goes to the other thing about growing out of stuff. These guys don't grow out of stuff. I mean, the drummer is out there showing off his junk on Facebook. And then what else is he doing? He's encouraging other people at the shows to actually do it. And some of these people, you know, have stupidly brought their teenage son or whatever to the show. It's like, really? Really? So you're in on that if you're going to that level. Like, you know what to expect here. And if you haven't, you know, seen the news reports or, I don't know. I guess if you were under a rock and you missed what happened over on Facebook, I think it was last year or the year before with Tommy Lee and his bathroom photo, I guess it was. If you missed that, good. All right. but a lot of people didn't miss it. Um, it was, I mean, but this is like par for the course for this. And this keeps the band in the news, and it keeps people talking about it, and they keep selling tickets. And there are a number of people that have grown old with Motley Crue. They've grown old, but they haven't grown up. All right. And some of us don't feel comfortable around that. I'm telling you a true story from like 1985. And I was, in the prime of life, so to speak. And I was like, really? All right, where's the exit? Can we get out of here somewhere? Because this is just human beings just acting in a way which I don't know. I have no words for it, but it's not, here's the thing. It's not really surprising based on the band, based what they're all about. And also, Sharon might have a point here. I mean, if your movie isn't, titillating enough, it's not salacious enough, you got to bring Ozzy in for ratings. And, Sharon likes to protect the estate, and she likes to yell and swear, and she'll do anything to promote Ozzy and to lift him up. And, Ozzy's got a lot to answer for too. But I'm thinking at this stage in his life, and with all of his medical stuff happening, maybe cut him a little bit of slack. That's what I would do. And I've done that. And by the way, his last album was actually pretty interesting album. Well put together, well produced. So kudos to him. Of course, Motley Crue, they've got new material out there too. Yay. But I'm still going to just promote these underdog bands when I can. Grand Revival, Liberty Station, still rooting for the underdogs, the unknowns, the people who are lurking out there that are making great music and nobody even knows they're doing it. All right, so check out Liberty Station. If you want to order a copy of that, Grooveyard Records is the place to go. And if you want to listen to great music, modernretrofm.com. Folks, thanks for watching. God bless you all. Thanks to all the patrons who are not only supporting me financially, but they're also giving me encouragement, which after yesterday was just a stupid day. So I'd like to forget about that. And I know my views are not the views of everybody. So again, if you disagree with my politics, the stuff about Israel, especially, all of a sudden, it's just, I thought you were one of us, but now I don't know about you. Okay, well, at least I got my wife, my kids, and of course my God. And that's pretty much all I really need. So see you soon, folks.